Title: The Haunting of the Davenport Family, The Kidnapping Cold Case, Revisited, The Disappearance. The crisp autumn air felt sharp as it swept through the trees outside the Davenport household. David and Sarah Davenport were enjoying the peaceful tranquility of their suburban home, tucked away on the edge of a quiet town. The sun had just started to dip below the horizon, casting a golden hue across the front yard. It was the kind of evening where nothing seemed amiss, where life felt predictable, calm, and safe. Their 8-year-old daughter, Lily, was out back, laughing and playing with her dog, Charlie, in the yard. Her laughter, innocent and carefree, echoed through the windows, a sound that filled the house with warmth. For Sarah and David, the small moments like these made life feel perfect. A family together, in peace. But that evening, that laughter would be the last sound they'd hear from their beloved daughter for many years to come. It happened so quickly. One moment Lily was playing, her voice ringing with joy as she chased Charlie around the yard. The next, silence. A chilling quietness descended over the house. At first, Sarah assumed Lily had just wandered inside to escape the cold, but after calling her name and receiving no answer, a sense of dread began to sink into Sarah's chest. "David, where's Lily?" she called out, her voice tight with concern. David looked up from his work, puzzled. "She's not inside?" he asked, standing up. He moved quickly toward the back door and stepped outside, scanning the yard for their daughter. "Lily?" he called, his voice trembling slightly. No response. The unsettling stillness of the evening seemed almost unnatural, as though the very air was holding its breath. Frantic now, Sarah joined him in the yard, both of them calling Lily's name over and over. There was no sign of her. No small footprints in the soft grass. No giggling echoing in the air. Only the rustling of the wind, carrying with it an eerie sense of finality. Within minutes, the entire neighborhood had been alerted. Neighbors, friends, and family members joined the search, calling out Lily's name and combing every inch of the nearby streets, the woods behind their house, and even the small lake a few miles away. But as the hours ticked by, the horror of the situation grew. The once bright neighborhood became a place of dark uncertainty, a nightmare where every passing second brought more fear. The police arrived, their sirens echoing down the street. They set up a perimeter around the area and began their search, questioning everyone who had been nearby. But there was no evidence, no sign of Lily. It was as if she had vanished into thin air. The investigation began, but it was a dead end from the start. There were no ransom notes, no witnesses who had seen anything unusual, and no trace of Lily anywhere. The town was in shock. How could a child simply disappear without a trace? Where was she? What had happened? For Sarah and David, the nightmare was only beginning. Each day they clung to the hope that Lily would come home, but each passing hour only deepened the void in their hearts. As the weeks turned into months and then years, the investigation slowed to a crawl. The police had no answers, and the case eventually turned cold. But for the Davenports, the pain was ever present. The unanswered questions, the hollow space where their daughter had once been, haunted them every day, the haunting presence. Even as the years passed and the hope of finding Lily faded, something strange began to happen in the Davenport household. At first, it was subtle, a soft, unexplained creaking in the floors late at night, or the sound of something brushing against the walls when no one was there. Sarah and David dismissed it, attributing it to the old house settling or the wind rustling through the trees. But then things started to escalate. Late one night, Sarah awoke to the sound of a soft whisper. It was faint at first, almost imperceptible, but it was there. A voice, a child's voice, calling her name. Sarah's heart skipped a beat. She sat up in bed, her eyes scanning the dark room, but there was no one there. The house was silent again, save for the soft ticking of the clock on the wall. The whispers didn't stop. Over the following months, Sarah would hear the voice again and again, always in the still of the night. It was always the same, a soft, distant call, as though Lily was trying to reach her from somewhere far away. David, too, began to notice strange occurrences. One evening, as he sat in the living room, he saw it, a shadow moving across the hallway, out of the corner of his eye. He turned quickly, expecting to see someone there, but the hallway was empty. At first, he told himself it was his mind playing tricks on him, but the events continued. The lights in their home would flicker for no reason. The family dog, once playful and calm, began barking at empty spaces, growling at corners of the room as though something unseen was there. The presence was undeniable. It wasn't just the house. It was as if someone was with them, something that had never left. But it wasn't just the house that felt haunted. It was their very lives. The years since Lily's disappearance had aged them beyond their years. Sarah had become withdrawn, her eyes hollow with grief. She barely slept anymore, haunted by nightmares of her daughter, lost and alone. David, once a rock of support, was distant, consumed by guilt. He blamed himself for not protecting Lily, for not being there when she needed him most. Their marriage, once strong and full of love, began to unravel. The darkness in their lives seemed to consume them, and they found it harder to connect with each other, to remember the love they had once shared. They were two broken people, trapped in the shadow of an unanswered question. What had happened to Lily? The search for the truth. As the years passed, the whispers grew louder. One night, as Sarah sat alone in the living room, she received a phone call. It was an unknown number, but she answered it, her heart pounding with a strange hope. "Hello?" she said, her voice trembling. The line was silent for a long moment, and then a distorted voice spoke. It was faint, almost indecipherable, but Sarah could hear one word: Lily. The call abruptly ended. For a moment, Sarah was frozen, unsure of what she had just experienced. Could it have been Lily? Could it have been a sign? The haunting voice that had plagued her for years was now speaking to her directly. Was it her daughter? Was she alive? Desperation gripped Sarah's heart. She couldn't let it go. She knew she had to find the truth, no matter where it led her. She reached out to the one person who might be able to help, a private investigator named Evelyn Harper. Harper was known for her success in solving cold cases, her ability to uncover the most elusive truths. It was a long shot, but it was the only shot they had left. Harper agreed to take on the case, but she warned the Davenports that it would be a long and difficult journey. She pored over the details of Lily's disappearance, revisiting every lead, every witness, every scrap of information. There was little to go on, but Evelyn had a sharp instinct. Something told her there was more to this case than met the eye. Weeks passed, and Evelyn's investigation began to uncover a trail of disturbing connections. In nearby towns, there had been other disappearances, children who had vanished under similar circumstances. The more she dug, the clearer it became that Lily's case was not an isolated incident. But it wasn't just the disappearances that Evelyn uncovered. She found something darker, an abandoned mansion on the outskirts of the town, its owners long gone, but its history steeped in mystery. It was the perfect place to hide a secret, a place where things had been hidden for years. Evelyn's investigation would lead them to this mansion, where the answers and the horrors would await. This expanded version introduces more depth to the psychological and supernatural aspects of the story. It explores the growing tension within the family, their emotional toll, and the unsettling presence that haunts them. The investigation intensifies as new leads appear, setting the stage for a chilling discovery.